What's going on, everybody? Jacob here, JK Productions, and what I got for you guys today is I'm going to react to how my team ended up in the Cream Team Fantasy Football League draft that we did last Sunday. You've seen the draft video now. You saw the post-draft press conference that I put out yesterday, and today I'm going to react to my team. If you guys watched that video of me doing the actual draft with the boys, if you haven't, first, please go watch that because I think it was hilarious. It was really good content to get all of us in a Zoom call talking about the draft as it's going on, reacting live to everybody making their picks. So I would definitely recommend going over and watching that video. But if you've already seen that video, or quite frankly, you just want to hear me talk about my team, hi, welcome. So looking at this team, I was so ecstatic about how the draft went for me. If you watch that video, I was so happy with how things were going, with how certain players were falling to me. You look at this team: Russell Wilson, Austin Ekeler, Aaron Jones, Courtland Sutton, Amon-Ra, Travis Kelce, A-Rob, and you look at the bench: Rashad Penny, Drake London. You look at those other guys. I was thrilled with how things were going. It was really best case scenario. There were a few picks where somebody went right beforehand where, I was a little upset, but I had options. I kept having options that I was content with and just loved how the draft went for me. Let's go over and look at the actual draft recap. So as you guys know, I had the 4th overall pick, and it was obviously a formality of who was going to be taken first overall, Jonathan Taylor. But then the next 3 picks were one way or another going to be in order of McCaffrey, Henry, and Ekeler, which is the order it went. I ended up getting Austin Ekeler, the guy who, in this whole process of me doing mocks and everything, I just had a feeling that's who I was going to end up with. And ironically enough, I thought Kyle was going to take Henry. I thought Andrew was going to take McCaffrey, and then I would get Ekeler. Those two flipped around because Kyle was so dead set on, oh, you can't take McCaffrey, the injuries, blah, 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 blah. And then we get to the day of the draft, I'm like, oh, who do you think you're going to take? I'm not really sure between Ekeler and Henry. I'm like, okay, cool. And then what ends up happening? He takes McCaffrey, of course. But again, I'm okay with this. Ekeler probably doesn't have as high ceiling as those guys do, but his floor is definitely really high. We haven't seen an injury history with him like we've seen these other 2 dudes. So getting Austin Ekeler there, I was content. I was content with whoever falls my way between those 3 guys. I'm grabbing them, and I'm okay with that. You look at the rest of the picks between then and my next pick, everything went pretty standard. One pick I really don't like is Tyrell taking Najee Harris at 5. You guys know I am not high on Najee Harris. I think quite a few other players could have gone above him, including Dalvin, Alvin Kamara, this group of receivers here, Cooper Kupp, JJ, and Jamar Chase. I would have taken above Najee, but to each their own. So, something I'd like to highlight for probably everybody's drafts of what's going on: Cooper Kupp just continuing to fall. At one point was like the certified number 2 overall pick. Now all the way down at 6, getting a steal there if you're Adam. But I understand the concerns going on there with the elbow of Stafford and all. But to get Ekeler there, I'm really happy. And the number 1 guy I wanted to get in the 2nd round of the draft, I wanted Travis Kelce. I wanted Travis Kelce really bad. I think ESPN has him really undervalued. Like if you go on the sleeper and draft there, I think he's ranked number 13 on the board. ESPN has him ranked like 23rd. So there's sometimes I was doing mock drafts where I was getting him with my 4th overall pick, or not 4th overall pick, or my 4th pick in the 3rd round. I didn't expect that to happen, especially if you look, 2 tight ends went right afterwards, so there was no way I was going to be able to get Travis Kelce there. So you know what? I want to get him. I want to grab him, get my tight end position done and settle with. Number 1 option in one of the best offenses in the league. The only guy that realistically at that range I would have considered taking instead of him being Javonte Williams, who Jay ended up taking really high. And I'm pretty high on Javonte Williams too, so I get it. So that would have been an interesting decision. But once Travis Kelce fell to me and Javonte's off the board, I had no second thoughts. I knew, give me some Travis Kelce. Now there was some decisions to make. My first true decision, those first 2 picks were just so obvious to me for different reasons that once I got to pick my 3rd round pick, that's really when I had to make a decision. Aaron Jones, Saquon, or Nick Chubb were the 3 guys who I was really milling between, and each have their own upside and downside. The first two I like to compare: Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, very similar position, top backs in a run-heavy offense. However, I think Aaron Jones is going to get more volume. I think that, I don't know if more volume is the right way to say it, but he's more of an option. He's going to get both running work and passing work. He does have to worry about A.J. Dillon being there. However, Nick Chubb has to worry about Kareem Hunt being there. Awful quarterback for Nick Chubb, so that means they're going to funnel through him a lot, but that does have the downside of the defense knows what's coming. With Green Bay, there's going to be a lot of times where I think both running backs are going to be on the field for the same play and could be on the field the same play for passing plays, where they're both weapons. So I prefer Aaron Jones over Chubb, and then it came down to me between Aaron Jones and Saquon. I understand why people are liking Saquon again, but I do still have some hesitancy about what is he going to look like? What's he going to look like in this new offense, which should work, which should have high upside for him. However, we haven't seen him at his best in many years. The offensive line's better. It's still not good or great by any means. And you have Daniel Jones, who, if nothing else, is very athletic and is going to move out of the pocket when he wants to. So all that considered, I went with Aaron Jones, which to me a very safe option, has a good chance of getting both running game and passing game. And also just matching him, Eckler, and then obviously Jones. There's just, I feel very safe about those two picks. And you look at the guys who are in my division with me, Tyrell taking Najee, don't like that. We look at Marcelo, who I like Jamar Chase as his first pick. But then on the other side, where he'd end up going with, who is Marcelo happy on? Deebo Samuel. I like Deebo Samuel, but I like him a little less than most people do. But then you come down and he took Cam Akers here. He took Ezekiel Elliott, two guys that, gosh, no, God knows how good they're going to be. Later on, he took Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So with my division being very shaky, Nehemiah taking DJ Moore in the second round. I just feel really good being safe with guys that are definitely going to be huge pieces in their offense. The first three picks, absolutely love. Then you roll down to round 4. I have Travis Kelce, obviously, so I was considering pairing up Kelce and Mahomes. And if Tyrell didn't take Patrick Mahomes, I truly don't know what I would have done in the moment. I can't sit here and honestly give you guys an answer of whether I would have taken Mahomes or whether I would have taken Courtland Sutton. But, you know, it is what it is. Mahomes was taken, and then I'm very happy to get Courtland Sutton. And Courtland Sutton was a run of 3 straight receivers for me. So Sutton, Amon-Ra, and Allen Robinson. So having 2 of those guys as my starting receivers, and then I can rotate A-Rob or Amon-Ra with some guys later down the list for me, like Rashad Penny. I can rotate in with that flex spot. I feel very good with that, getting these 3 wide receivers in a row. Courtland Sutton, look at Russell Wilson's success, or the success he's given to the best wide receivers in his offense in seasons that he's played the majority of the game. So last year aside, look at the seasons Russell Wilson has played almost every single game, if not every single game. His wide receiver almost every single time finished at least top 15. A lot of the times he's had 2 wide receivers finish in the top 20. So to get that guarantee there, and then you know how I wanted to match up Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, I was like, okay, I can pass on quarterback for now, let a few guys go off the board. So you see Lamar, you see Justin Herbert, you see Kyler, you see Jalen. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know I'm probably going to get Russell Wilson a few rounds later. And that's what I ended up being able to do. So pairing Courtland Sutton there with Russell Wilson, I also love Amon-Ra. Really big ego boost when everybody in the chat was upset that I was able to get Amon-Ra over them. You had Adam there. You had it was like Adam, Joe, and Brandon. Pretty much the entire chat that was in there was mad, and that just felt good. And then Allen Robinson is saying, like, I love both Amon-Ra and Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson would probably be a 5th round pick if it wasn't for Stafford's elbow. That concerns everybody. And Cooper Kupp being the top dog there is going to swallow up a lot of the offense. I drafted Robert Woods last year instead of Cooper Kupp, and when he was healthy, he wasn't doing the best for me. He was really milling between like the 18 to 22 wide receiver rank. So I wasn't really comfortable with that last year, but I'm ready to get burned again this year. Then, of course, like I said, Russell Wilson, love pairing him up there with Courtland Sutton. Love being able to do that. And getting his former running back, who last year in the last 5 weeks being being running back number 1 for all the entire year, the last 5 weeks last year, as my first guy off the bench. I wanted to get either him or Chase Edmonds there, but you see Chase Edmonds went a full round and a half before him. So I was like, you know what? Go ahead. I would have, if I had already had 3 running backs, DeAndre Hopkins would have been for sure a guy I would have considered there, because when he comes back in week 6, the value of getting him in week 8 is tremendous. But I was okay with getting him there. If AJ Dillon would definitely been a consideration if I hadn't taken Aaron Jones, but I'm not pairing the 2 of them together because both of them can be starters, but you can't put both of them in the same lineup together. Drake London here, around 9. Getting him there, I wasn't big on Drake London, and I don't think I've ever taken Drake London in a mock. Maybe just one time I ended up taking Drake London in a mock, but that was in like round 7 where I took him there. He's coming into the season injured. He's not in a good offense. 2 things that I really don't like drafting fantasy football players with, but drafting him like full round or 2 after his ADP, it's worth it at that point. Especially you see Rashad Penny and him, my first 2 guys off the bench, both week 1 projected to score around 12 points. That makes me feel really comfortable going into the season. Then you look at the rest of the picks, it really just is, who do you like? I like Tyler Boyd. He has a really good chance of having an increased role if there's any injuries in that offense. Darrell Henderson, I didn't even know this at the time, but Cam Akers is dealing with an injury, and we know that Cam Akers looked really bad when he came back last year from the Achilles tear. It wasn't even that he wasn't able to run the ball well. He was fumbling a lot, which has nothing to do with an injury. So I think there is a concern there for the coaching staff. And at worst, they're going to be splitting carries. Best case scenario, Darrell Henderson, just bit my tongue there. Darrell Henderson ends up being the top back for Los Angeles Rams. And even if he doesn't fit in my lineup anywhere, that's a decent trade piece, especially as guys are looking for running backs later on in the season. Then getting David Njoku, back up tight end. I wanted Irv Smith, but Joe ended up grabbing him right before me. And you just continue to go down the list. Trevor Lawrence, Isaiah Pacheco. Day of the draft, I was like, ooh, I want to get Pacheco. And then completely forgot about him as the draft's going on. If you look, that was actually my last position pick because there's no reason to pick kicker or defense before the last 2 rounds. I'm just absolutely not doing it, and I'm gonna not do that with the fan option on my computer. But Isaiah Pacheco, somebody who I can see him taking over the starting role with Clyde Edwards-Helaire absolutely stinking the bed. So all in all, I'm just so enthusiastic about this team going into the season. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this team? Let's go look over me and Donovan play week 1, and Donovan has a very good team himself. That's gonna be 2 of the best teams probably in all of the league. And let's take a look at it. Yeah, Herbert, Taylor, Kareem Hunt as his second running back isn't the best, but again, there's upside there if he gets traded. If Nick Chubb goes down again, which he's done a few times. T. Higgins, love T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Andrews, and then not really Miles Sanders. So I don't understand how he's a favorite in that. I like my team better. But yeah, thank you. Thank you guys all for tuning into this. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think about my team? What do you think about your team? This is prime draft season. At the time of recording this, I got another one going on tonight. First overall pick, so not quite as interesting because I'm gonna go obviously straight off the board with Jonathan Taylor there. But let me know how you think about my team. Let me know how you think about your team down in the comments below. Please make sure to hit that like button. I'm 11 subscribers away from 100 subscribers. I got 580 something followers on Instagram. So a lot of you that's not subscribed to the channel. Please, if nothing else, just hit that subscribe button down below. I want to get to 100. Please, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, get down interacting in the comments below. And all of you guys, please make sure to have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.